Arsenal making it clear they're not going to take up the option of another year in his contract doesn't come as a surprise. I think Celtic have been planning for this for a while. It's a hunch. But I wonder why, in terms of the left-back situation, they seem quite relaxed that Greg Taylor is, hurtling towards the end of his contract. I fully expect Greg Taylor, by the way, to get a new deal because Brendan Rodgers has made all the noises. But if you look at, what they were doing, the squad building, this sort of methodical way they went about it in the transfer market, it leaves a question mark. Why are you just bringing in a left back on loan? And I think that's because they probably had reason to believe that 12 months down the line, the return of the prodigal son.
It's fair to say that the reactions from Celtic fans have been mixed. Craig Rankin here on Facebook says, get him and Vi signed, sell Taylor, invincible treble Tierney sounds good. Martin Kelly, though, says only in a pay-as-you-play, at least for the first year, to see if you can get fit. And watching live...
Well, you just certainly don't want to give him James McCarthy's contract, do you?
Aye. John Curie says, too injury-prone to be relied upon. I mean, he's only 27, but that must be a concern for Celtic fans, or Celtic...
It's a concern for everybody. It's a concern for Scotland. I'm sure it's a concern for Kieran Tierney because... his body has sort of broken down on him. I don't know if that's a legacy of how many games he played when he was so young in that Celtic side. But there is a flip side to that. And, Mark Hateley always talked about it. He had a year out after rupturing his ankle in his time at Monaco. And he always felt that he got that year and had it on at the end of his career. And other players have used that example. So, do you know what? If Kieran Tierney... And yes, I do accept there is a high risk element to it because he's just been so unlucky with thigh injuries and all the rest of it. He seldom seems to get a real extended run at it. But you know what? Sometimes it just works. And I think there might be issues going on in Kieran's personal life that might make it feel like now's a good time to come back to Glasgow. Financially, he's not going to get anything like the contract that he's got at the Emirates. He won't need it. He's a really wealthy guy. He's also a really wealthy guy who carries his boots to the game in a Tesco bag. So it's not as if he's done it all in on Prada man bags. And he's a down-to-earth guy. He has a deep affection for Celtic Football Club. And I think in his mind's eye, he's always thought, I want to end up back there one day. So yes, it does feel as if the stars are aligning, and I wouldn't be in the slightest bit surprised. The suggestion is now that it might have accelerated a little bit because of Arsenal's decision. That might give Celtic the opportunity to sign him on a pre-contract and possibly get him on a loan deal. Do you need 3 left backs? Certainly, if you're having to pay a massive chunk of Kieran Tierney's wages, do you need to carry 3 left backs for the rest of the season? Not sure that that's...
Yeah.
That sounds as if it makes a great deal of sense. Maybe they just want to get him home as soon as possible. I don't know, but if you felt you could get him on a pre-contract, then of course you'd have to take a look at it. You need to take a look at the numbers. And as I said, you need to be careful with it. He'd probably still one of the top earners at the club, so right. you do need to be fairly, certainly as sure as you can be, that there's not a serious medical issue which means that he's a certainty to break down.
Yeah.
So do the due diligence, get the medical checks and all that. I'd be really surprised if Celtic weren't trying to put something together in terms of a pre-contract.